In the far reaches of the eastern Pacific, a peninsula rises from the restless meeting of continents and oceans, a place forged by the relentless forces of fire and ice. Kamchatka's story began millions of years ago, deep beneath the surface, where tectonic plates collided and magma surged upward, birthing a chain of volcanoes that still shape the land today. The peninsula stretches over 1,000 kilometers, its spine marked by more than 160 volcanoes, 29 of which remain active, making Kamchatka one of the most volcanically dynamic regions on Earth. Here, the land is sculpted by eruptions and earthquakes, with vast calderas and lava fields bearing witness to ancient cataclysms. The peninsula's isolation has preserved its raw geological features, where the scars of the Earth's restless interior are visible at every turn. Volcanic cones rise abruptly from the tundra, their slopes streaked with ash and snow, while fields of solidified lava stretch for miles, frozen in time. Geothermal vents and fumaroles punctuate the landscape, releasing plumes of steam and gases that hint at the molten world below. The ground itself is alive, trembling with the energy of subterranean forces, and reshaped by frequent eruptions that deposit fresh layers of ash and lava. Valleys and basins, carved by ancient lava flows and glacial movement, reveal the ongoing dialogue between fire and ice. The air is crisp and charged with the scent of minerals and volcanic gases, mingling with the freshness of alpine herbs and mosses that cling to the rocky soil. Towering glaciers descend from volcanic peaks, their ancient ice grinding against black basalt, sculpting deep valleys and feeding powerful rivers. Where ice meets fire, unique phenomena emerge. Hot springs bubble beside frozen streams, and geysers erupt in clouds of steam amid snowfields. Rivers, born from melting glaciers and snow, carve through ancient lava beds, creating canyons with sheer basalt walls and tumbling waterfalls. Winters cloak the land in deep snow, muffling the rumble of distant eruptions and transforming the landscape into a silent, icy expanse. Summers are brief but intense as the tundra bursts into color, nourished by mineral-rich soils and the lingering warmth of volcanic activity. The interplay of light and shadow across volcanic ridges and glacial valleys creates scenes of otherworldly beauty, ever-changing with the seasons. In this vast expanse, silence reigns, broken only by the distant roar of an eruption or the crack of shifting ice. The rhythm of tides and the cycles of volcanic activity dictate the patterns of life, shaping the evolution of unique ecosystems. Winds sweep across the plains, carrying volcanic ash and seeds alike, while the ever-present threat of eruption looms on the horizon. The terrain is rugged and unpredictable, shaped by landslides, mudflows, and sudden storms that roll in from the Pacific. Weather shifts rapidly, with clear skies giving way to dense fog or driving snow, a testament to the volatile meeting of oceanic and continental climates. The wildness of Kamchatka is preserved in its untouched valleys, where ancient forests and volcanic deserts coexist in stark contrast. The land appears primordial, as if the processes that shaped the early Earth are still at work. Volcanoes building new mountains, glaciers carving new paths, and geothermal forces reshaping the surface. Each volcanic eruption adds new layers to the landscape, while glacial meltwaters reveal the ancient history buried beneath. Along the coastline, cliffs of volcanic rock plunge into the sea, where geothermal springs bubble up through black sand beaches and the ocean's chill meets the Earth's inner heat. The peninsula's volcanic heart beats with a power that is both destructive and creative, continually renewing the land and giving rise to rare natural spectacles. Fumaroles hiss and bubble, painting the earth in vivid hues of sulfur and mineral deposits, while geysers erupt in rhythmic bursts, sending columns of steam skyward. Volcanic eruptions send ash plumes towering into the atmosphere, reshaping the climate and fertilizing the land with minerals from deep within the planet. Kamchatka stands as a living testament to the ongoing creation of the Earth, a land where fire and ice are locked in eternal struggle, forging a landscape of unparalleled drama and wonder. At the far edge of the world, where land meets the restless Pacific, a city emerges, Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, the solitary sentinel of the Kamchatka Peninsula. Here, the city is not defined by monuments or spires, but by the overwhelming embrace of nature's titans. The landscape is a living tapestry, woven from the raw power of earth and fire. 3 colossal volcanoes, Koryaksky, Avachinsky and Kozelsky, rise in silent vigilance above the bay, their snow-clad summits piercing the sky, their ancient slopes etched with the memory of eruptions and ice ages. These peaks, draped in white for much of the year, are more than scenery. They are the city's ever-watchful guardians, shaping the land and the rhythm of existence below. On days when the air is clear and the wind still, the volcanoes stand in perfect symmetry, their cones casting long shadows over the city, a reminder of the elemental forces that forged this place. The city itself seems cradled in the arms of these giants, its streets and buildings nestled at their feet, as if placed there by the hand of nature itself. In the mid-18th century, the explorer Vitus Bering arrived on these wild shores, charting a course through uncharted waters. The settlement that grew here became a vital outpost, its story etched into the annals of exploration and endurance. For centuries, the port has been a crossroads for ships braving the northern seas, a haven for scientific expeditions, and a strategic anchor in the vastness of the Russian Far East. The city's name honors the St. Peter and the St. Paul, the sturdy vessels that carried Bering's expedition to these remote lands, their legacy forever tied to the harbor's restless tides. In the shadow of the volcanoes, the city once stood defiant against a formidable naval assault during the Crimean War, its natural defences and strategic position turning the tide of history. Today, the city pulses with activity, its avenues and markets forming the vibrant heart of Kamchatka, a hub of administration and culture at the edge of the world. Concrete towers rise beside wild forests, the city's architecture a stark contrast to the untamed wilderness that presses in from every side. Isolation is a constant companion here, with the city's dwellings scattered against a backdrop of dense forest and rugged mountains, the boundary between civilization and wildness always blurred. No roads pierce the wilderness to connect this city to the mainland. Only the sea and the sky offer passage, with ships and planes delivering lifeblood from distant lands. The harbour is a vital artery, where fishing boats return with the bounty of the Pacific, and markets brim with the riches of the sea, sustaining the city's pulse. The wilderness is never distant. Trails wind from the city's edge into forests and valleys, where the land remains as wild as it was centuries ago. The ground itself is restless, trembling with the subtle energy of the earth, a reminder of the volcanic heart that beats beneath the surface. From the flanks of the volcanoes, plumes of steam rise into the cold air, silent signals of the power that slumbers within. The landscape is shaped by resilience and adaptation, forged by wind, frost, and fire, its features marked by the struggle and harmony of natural forces. Every street and path is framed by the looming presence of the volcanoes, the city's daily rhythm set against a backdrop of grandeur and unpredictability. From every vantage point, the panorama is breathtaking, bay waters reflecting the sky, volcanic peaks standing sentinel, clouds drifting in endless procession. Modern structures rise in the shadow of ancient summits, the new and the primeval locked in a silent dialogue across the ages. As dusk falls, fishing boats glide into the harbour, their silhouettes etched against the fiery glow of sunset. Mountains standing watch as day yields to night. The city breathes with the land, wind stirring the trees, clouds racing over rooftops, the pulse of nature ever present and inescapable. Perched at the threshold of wilderness, Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky is more than a gateway. It is a living testament to the enduring power of earth and sky, forever watched and shaped by the volcanic giants that guard its destiny. At the far eastern edge of Russia, where the land meets the restless Pacific, Avacha Bay unfurls in a sweeping crescent of deep blue, its waters cradled by volcanic peaks and rugged headlands. The bay's vastness is immediately striking, an immense expanse that stretches toward the horizon, its surface shifting from sapphire calm to steel grey with the changing moods of the sky. The bay's depths are legendary, plunging far below the surface, creating a sanctuary of stillness even as storms rage beyond its mouth. Here the ocean's power is both contained and magnified, the bay acting as a natural amphitheatre for the drama of wind and water. When tempests sweep in from the Pacific, the outer seas churn with white-capped fury, but within Avacha Bay, the waters remain a haven of relative calm, shielded by the embrace of the land and the silent watch of ancient volcanic sentinels. Beneath the surface, a vibrant world flourishes. Schools of silvery fish dart through kelp forests, their scales catching the filtered sunlight that dances down from above. Seabirds wheel and dive, their cries echoing across the water as they hunt for prey in the teeming shallows. Along the rocky shores, tidal pools brim with life. Starfish, sea urchins, and anemones clinging to the stones, their colours vivid against the muted palette of volcanic rock. The bay's nutrient-rich currents sustain a complex web of creatures, from the tiniest plankton to the great predators of the deep. At the threshold of the bay, 3 monumental sea stacks rise from the waves, the legendary Three Brothers. Their weathered forms, sculpted by centuries of wind and water, stand as guardians at the gateway between ocean and land. These towering pillars of stone, jagged and resolute, are shrouded in mist and myth. Their presence is both a warning and a welcome, marking the passage into a realm where nature reigns supreme. Legends swirl around the Three Brothers, their silhouettes often wreathed in storm clouds or illuminated by the golden light of dawn. They are said to embody the spirit of protection, their stony forms forever holding back the might of the ocean. As the light shifts, the rocks transform, sometimes stark and forbidding, sometimes glowing with an inner fire, always a symbol of endurance and the timeless power of the natural world. In the early morning, the Three Brothers emerge from the mist like ancient spirits, their outlines softened by the haze. At sunset, they are cast in silhouette against a sky ablaze with colour, a breathtaking spectacle that lingers in memory. The waters of Avacha Bay are cold and crystalline, their clarity revealing a world in constant motion. Beneath the rippling surface, life pulses in every direction, shoals of fish, drifting jellyfish, and the slow, graceful movements of larger marine mammals. Harbour seals glide through the chilly depths, their sleek forms perfectly adapted to the bay's frigid embrace. They surface with gentle curiosity, their dark eyes reflecting the ever-changing sky. On rocky outcrops, seals rest and watch, their presence a quiet testament to the bay's abundance and the delicate balance of its ecosystem. Occasionally, the surface is broken by something even more extraordinary, a whale's dorsal fin slicing through the water, or the sudden thunderous exhalation of a great marine giant. Humpback whales visit these waters, drawn by the bay's rich feeding grounds. Their immense bodies rise in spectacular breaches, sending cascades of spray into the air, a display of raw power and grace that echoes across the bay. Against the backdrop of snow-capped volcanoes, the sight of a whale surfacing is a moment of awe, a fleeting connection between the ancient rhythms of the sea and the primeval forces that shaped this land. Avacha Bay is a place of constant transformation. Its moods shift with the weather and the turning of the seasons, now shrouded in fog, now sparkling beneath a clear sky, now lashed by wind and rain. On tranquil days, the bay becomes a mirror, perfectly reflecting the sky and the looming volcanoes, creating a world of doubled beauty and serene stillness. When storms descend, the bay is transformed. Waves crash against the shore, spray flies, and the water turns a brooding grey, alive with the energy of the Pacific. The landscape is both beautiful and formidable, a testament to the raw power of nature and the intricate tapestry of life that thrives here. Avacha Bay is a living mosaic of water, rock and life, a place where the wild heart of Kamchatka beats strong, and the wonders of the natural world unfold in endless variety. In the remote southern reaches of Kamchatka, Kuril Lake glistens like a jewel set amidst a dramatic volcanic landscape. Its waters, cold and pristine, stretch out beneath the watchful gaze of ancient mountains, forming a sanctuary that pulses with life each summer. As the days grow long and the snow recedes from the peaks, the lake becomes the stage for a phenomenon of staggering scale. From the distant, icy depths of the Sea of Okhotsk, millions of sockeye salmon are drawn by an unyielding instinct. Their bodies, now a brilliant crimson, gather in the shallows, forming dense, shimmering schools that seem to set the water ablaze with color. The journey is perilous and relentless. Salmon surge upstream, battling swift currents and leaping over obstacles, each one compelled to return to the very riverbed where its life began. The rivers feeding Kuril Lake run red with their numbers, a living tide that transforms the landscape. Every muscle strains as they push forward, driven by the singular purpose of spawning and ensuring the next generation. This annual migration is the heartbeat of the region's ecosystem. The arrival of the salmon signals a time of abundance, drawing Kamchatka's most formidable predators to the water's edge. Brown bears, some of the largest on Earth, emerge from the forests and volcanic slopes, converging on the lake in anticipation of the feast. Along the rocky shoreline, more than 20 bears may be seen at once, each staking out a prime fishing spot. The air is thick with the sounds of splashing water and the low grunts of bears as they focus intently on the teeming masses of fish. Here, the density of bears rivals anywhere else on the planet, a testament to the bounty provided by the salmon run. Massive males wade into the lake, their fur slicked dark by the water, standing motionless until the perfect moment. With lightning speed, a paw lashes out, sending droplets flying as a salmon is plucked from the current. The bear's powerful jaws and sharp claws are perfectly adapted for this seasonal harvest, allowing them to consume dozens of fish each day. Along quieter stretches of the shore, mother bears guide their cubs through the art of fishing. Patiently, they demonstrate how to pin down the slippery prey, while the cubs, full of curiosity and energy, practice their own clumsy techniques. These early lessons are vital, as the skills learned here will one day determine their survival. Despite the presence of so many powerful predators, the abundance of salmon creates a rare harmony. Bears, usually solitary and territorial, tolerate one another's company, drawn together by the sheer volume of food. The lake's edge becomes a place of uneasy truce, where competition gives way to coexistence. Every fish consumed is transformed into vital reserves of fat. The bears gorge themselves, devouring the richest parts of the salmon, skin, eggs and brains, packing on weight for the long, unforgiving winter ahead. This feast is a race against time, as the window of abundance is brief. For the salmon, the journey ends in sacrifice. After spawning, their bodies litter the banks and shallows, a poignant reminder of the cycle of life and death. Yet even in death, the salmon continue to give, their remains nourishing a multitude of creatures. Gulls, eagles and foxes join the bears in scavenging the carcasses, while unseen beneath the surface, aquatic insects and microorganisms break down what is left. As the salmon decompose, they release a surge of nutrients into the soil and water, fueling the growth of lush vegetation along the riverbanks and sustaining the entire food web. Kuril Lake stands as a living tapestry, where every creature and plant is bound together by the pulse of the salmon run. The landscape itself is shaped by this annual event, its forests and meadows thriving on the nutrients delivered by the fish. The spectacle of salmon leaping upstream, bears poised in anticipation, and the wild landscape bursting with life is a vivid illustration of nature's intricate balance. Here, at Kuril Lake, The Great Salmon Feast is not just a seasonal event, but the very heartbeat of Kamchatka's untamed wilderness. Kamchatka is, above all, a realm sculpted by fire and earth, where the restless forces beneath the crust shape the land in a ceaseless, dramatic ballet. Situated along the volatile Pacific Ring of Fire, Kamchatka is perched atop a tectonic boundary where the Pacific Plate relentlessly subducts beneath the Eurasian Plate, generating immense pressure and heat deep below the surface. Over 300 volcanoes rise from this peninsula, their origins traced to the upwelling of magma forced through fractures in the Earth's crust. Of these, around 30 remain active, their internal chambers brimming with molten rock and volatile gases. These are not silent monuments, but dynamic geological engines. Pressure builds within magma chambers until it is violently released, sending columns of ash and incandescent lava skyward, reshaping the land in moments of explosive transformation. The relentless cycle of eruption and erosion has carved a landscape of deep craters, sprawling lava fields, and valleys enriched by volcanic minerals where new land is born from the destruction of the old. Each volcano is a unique geological entity, shaped by its own history of eruptions, magma composition, and tectonic forces. Some rise as solitary giants, others cluster in tangled chains, their summits etched with scars from ancient explosions. Mutnovsky, one of the most accessible active volcanoes, is a prime example of ongoing volcanic processes. Its crater is a cauldron of geothermal activity, where superheated water and gases escape from the Earth's depths. The summit is a surreal expanse, its surface fractured and colored by mineral deposits, a testament to the chemical reactions occurring beneath the crust. Here, the air is saturated with sulfurous fumes, and the ground is a chaotic mosaic of snowfields, glaciers, and vividly colored rocks, each hue a signature of the minerals brought to the surface by volcanic forces. Fumaroles, vents that channel superheated steam and volcanic gases, roar from the crater, their emissions reaching temperatures exceeding several hundred degrees Celsius, altering the chemistry of the surrounding rocks. The hiss and roar of escaping steam are the audible signatures of the planet's internal pressure, a constant reminder of the dynamic processes at work beneath the surface. Across the volcanic terrain, pools of bubbling mud and acidic springs form where groundwater is superheated and infused with volcanic gases, creating environments that echo the primordial conditions of early Earth. The ground itself radiates heat, steam rising from fissures as a visible manifestation of the immense energy stored just below, where magma churns and reshapes the crust. Gorley Volcano, nearby, offers a contrasting spectacle. Its summit is a complex of overlapping craters, each formed by successive eruptions and collapses. The summit's overlapping craters reveal layers of volcanic history, each stratum a record of past eruptions, ashfalls, and lava flows. Within one of these craters lies a deep turquoise acid lake, its color the result of dissolved minerals and chemical reactions between volcanic gases and water. The lake's vibrant hue stands in stark contrast to the dark, jagged crater walls, a visual testament to the ongoing interplay of chemistry and geology. It glows like a jewel embedded in scorched volcanic earth, a rare phenomenon born from the union of heat, water, and mineral-rich rock. The mineral deposits and swirling colors within the lake are evidence of complex geochemical processes, where elements are mobilized and transformed by the extreme environment. To the north, Klyuchevskaya Sopka dominates the horizon, its near-perfect cone rising above the landscape as the tallest active volcano in Eurasia. This colossal stratovolcano towers over 4,750 meters, its symmetry the result of countless eruptions layering ash and lava over millennia. Frequently, a plume of smoke drifts from its summit, a silent signal of the ongoing magmatic activity deep within its core. Klyuchevskaya Sopka is the centerpiece of a formidable volcanic chain, its presence a geological anchor, in a region defined by ceaseless transformation. Tolbachik volcano, with its expansive lava fields and black ash plains, presents a landscape so barren and otherworldly that it mirrors the surface of distant moons. The terrain's resemblance to extraterrestrial worlds is so striking that it served as a testing ground for lunar exploration vehicles, a testament to the alien nature of volcanic creation. Section 6, the Earth's Breath, the Valley of Geysers. Hidden away in a remote canyon is one of Kamchatka's most famous and fragile treasures, the Valley of Geysers. It's one of the largest concentrations of geysers in the world, a geothermal wonderland where the Earth puts on a spectacular and constant show. To reach it, one must travel by helicopter, flying over miles of untouched wilderness. The first glimpse of the valley from the air is magical. A narrow, verdant canyon filled with clouds of steam rising from countless hot springs, mud pots, and geysers. It feels like descending into a secret mythical world where the planet itself is alive and breathing. The valley is a dynamic and ever-changing place. It's home to around 25 major geysers, each with its own rhythm and personality. Some erupt in tall, powerful columns of boiling water and steam that shoot high into the air, while others gurgle and splash more gently. The sound of the valley is a symphony of hisses, roars, and bubbling noises. The ground is painted in vibrant colors, reds, yellows, and oranges, created by heat-loving algae and mineral deposits. Unique flora thrives here, adapted to the extreme conditions. Heat-resistant plants and algae create a tapestry of life amidst the geothermal features. The history of the Valley of Geysers is a dramatic story of creation and destruction. In 2007, a massive landslide roared down the canyon, burying many of the geysers under tons of mud and rock. A natural dam was formed, creating a new lake that submerged even more of the valley's unique features. It was a natural disaster, and many feared this wonder of the world was lost forever. However, nature in Kamchatka is resilient. In the years that followed, the water found new pathways. Some of the old geysers reawakened, and new ones were born. The event was a powerful lesson in how dynamic and unpredictable this landscape truly is. Another incredible geothermal area is the Uzon caldera. This is a massive collapsed volcanic basin, about 10 kilometers across, that contains a whole miniature world of geothermal activity. Inside the caldera, you can find a stunning mix of landscapes. There are forests, tundra, lakes, and marshes, all existing alongside boiling mud pots, colorful mineral flats, and thermal pools. It's a natural laboratory where you can see different ecosystems thriving in close proximity to intense volcanic features. Places like the Valley of Geysers and the Uzon caldera are a window into the Earth's powerful inner workings, a place to witness the raw energy that shapes our planet. Section 7, the wild Pacific coastline. At the far eastern edge of Kamchatka, the land's volcanic heart collides with the endless blue of the Pacific, forging a boundary where earth and ocean are in constant dramatic conversation. Here, the coastline is a wild tapestry of jagged promontories and battered headlands, sculpted by the ancient violence of eruptions and the ceaseless assault of wind and wave. The air is thick with the tang of salt and the distant thunder of surf, echoing against stone. Towering basalt cliffs rise abruptly from the churning sea, their faces fractured and raw, bearing the scars of fire and water. These natural ramparts stand as silent witnesses to the peninsula's tumultuous birth. Each fissure and crevice in the dark rock tells a story of molten lava meeting icy tides, of elemental forces locked in a timeless struggle. The coastline's very bones are shaped by the memory of fire, cooled by the ocean's embrace. The shoreline stretches wild and windswept, a realm where the land's raw power is matched only by the ocean's restless energy. Here the elements reign supreme, and only the hardiest forms of life endure. Above the cliffs, the sky is ruled by the Stella's sea eagle, a master of the updrafts that swirl along the basalt walls. With wings outstretched, it glides effortlessly, surveying the wild domain below. Its massive yellow beak and bold white shoulders gleam against the stormy sky, a living emblem of the coast's untamed grandeur. With one of the largest wingspans in the avian world, the eagle rides the coastal winds, scanning the surf for the glint of fish below, a sentinel of the wild. Perched atop a wind-battered promontory or soaring high above the foaming breakers, the eagle is a breathtaking vision, an echo of the wildness that defines this place. Dominating the sky, the Stella's sea eagle is the undisputed ruler of these coastal heights, a symbol of the fierce spirit that animates the land and sea alike. Further along the coast, the land is carved by narrow fjord-like inlets, deep gashes where the sea reaches far inland, shrouded in mist and mystery. Ruskaya Bay lies hidden among these inlets, its waters calm and sheltered, a rare sanctuary amid the wild tumult of the Pacific. In the deep, tranquil waters of the bay, pods of orcas glide with silent grace, their black and white forms slicing through the blue depths. These powerful hunters move with intelligence and purpose, drawn by the promise of salmon and seals that thrive in the nutrient-rich currents. The bay's steep cliffs form a natural amphitheatre, enclosing the waters in a protective embrace and amplifying every sound. The orca's clicks, whistles, and haunting calls reverberate across the bay, weaving a tapestry of sound that lingers in the cool air, a symphony of the wild. In these pristine waters, the orca pod's social bonds are on full display, their interactions a dance of intelligence and instinct, perfectly attuned to the rhythms of the sea. Along the Pacific edge, Kalaktursky Beach unfurls, a vast expanse of black volcanic sand, stark and mesmerizing. The shoreline stretches in a long, unbroken arc, its dark sands forged from the slow erosion of ancient lava, each grain a relic of the peninsula's fiery past. Up close, the sand is fine and cool, its inky color a striking contrast to the pale foam of the relentless surf. The meeting of black sand and white-capped waves creates a scene of stark beauty, where every tide redraws the boundary between land and sea. The beach stretches on, a surreal ribbon of darkness bordered by the emerald tundra and the endless blue, a place where the elements shape the world in bold strokes. From above, the black sand forms a striking boundary, a line drawn by nature between the wild green of the land and the deep, restless ocean. Here, the Pacific's waves crash with unyielding force, sculpting the shore and filling the air with the roar of untamed energy, a testament to the enduring power and beauty of Kamchatka's wild Pacific frontier. Section 8 journeys through the volcanic heartlands. Deep within Kamchatka, the land transforms into a realm sculpted by fire and ice. Here, the volcanic heartlands stretch out in a tapestry of raw geological power, where ancient forces continue to shape the earth in dramatic and unpredictable ways. The journey begins at Avacha Pass, a gateway to a world where the ground itself seems alive. Massive volcanoes rise abruptly from the tundra, their slopes etched with the scars of countless eruptions and rivers of hardened lava. Between the towering Avachinsky and Koryaksky volcanoes, the pass forms a natural corridor, flanked by steep ridges and volcanic debris fields. The landscape is a living record of the peninsula's tumultuous past, each layer of ash and rock telling a story of explosive change. The terrain is rugged and ever-shifting, with rough volcanic roads winding through fields of pumice and basalt. Deep ruts and sudden inclines reveal the relentless power of erosion and the ceaseless movement of the earth beneath. Riverbeds cut through the volcanic plain, their courses shaped by seasonal floods and the melting snows of distant peaks. Steep slopes rise abruptly, their surfaces dusted with volcanic ash, while the silence of the wilderness is broken only by the distant rumble of geothermal activity. At the pass, a panorama unfolds. Volcanic peaks pierce the sky, and the tundra stretches endlessly, a patchwork of moss, lichen and stone. The air is thin, carrying the scent of minerals and the chill of high altitudes. Frost clings to jagged rocks, evidence of the harsh climate and the delicate balance between warmth and cold. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation, as if the land itself is waiting for the next eruption. Rising from the pass, Camel Mountain emerges, a volcanic extrusion, its slopes formed by ancient lava forced upward from the Earth's core. The surface is a mosaic of cooled lava, fractured and weathered by centuries of wind and frost. Each rock tells of the immense pressures and temperatures that forged it deep below the surface. The double-humped summit stands as a natural monument, its silhouette etched against the sky, a testament to the unpredictable artistry of volcanic forces. From the summit, a breathtaking vista reveals the full scale of Kamchatka's volcanic giants. Peaks rise in every direction, their flanks streaked with snow and ash, while deep valleys hint at the hidden power beneath. Among the rocks and tundra, life adapts to the extremes. The Arctic ground squirrel, or yavrashka, scurries across the landscape, its burrows carved into the volcanic soil, thriving in the shadow of the mountains. These creatures dart between stones, their movements quick and agile, adding a spark of vitality to the stark elemental world. Water, too, is a powerful sculptor here. Mountain streams carve deep channels through the volcanic rock, their clear waters tracing the contours of ancient lava flows. Not far from the pass, Spokojny waterfall tumbles over basalt cliffs, its waters fed by the slow melt of snow and glacier. The cascade is gentle, its flow steady and calm, a rare moment of tranquility amid the wildness of the volcanic landscape. Water plunges 16 meters into a crystal-clear pool, the force of its descent sending up a fine mist that nourishes a ring of vibrant green. Around the waterfall, lush vegetation flourishes, a vivid contrast to the barren slopes beyond. Ferns and mosses cling to the rocks, thriving in the perpetual moisture. This oasis, nestled within the harsh volcanic terrain, is a living demonstration of water's ability to transform and sustain even the most unlikely environments. Descending from the highlands, the Avacha River winds its way through the volcanic landscape, its path shaped by the contours of ancient eruptions and shifting earth. Near the coast, the river slows and broadens, spreading into a vast floodplain where water and land intermingle in a mosaic of marshes and wetlands. The river meanders in graceful loops, weaving through the landscape and creating a network of channels, islands, and pools that teem with life. These wetlands form a vital transition zone, supporting a rich diversity of species and serving as a natural bridge between the volcanic highlands and the Pacific Ocean. Each journey through Kamchatka's volcanic heartlands reveals a new facet of its geological wonders: towering volcanoes, hidden waterfalls, and winding rivers, each shaped by the relentless forces of nature, each a testament to the peninsula's untamed spirit. Section 9. Why the Wild Places Matter. In a world where the boundaries of civilization stretch ever outward, wild places like Kamchatka stand as rare sanctuaries, vast unbroken realms where the ancient rhythms of the earth continue undisturbed. As the final day of the year draws to a close, the land is bathed in the gentle glow of a winter sunset, inviting a moment of deep reflection on the enduring value of wilderness. Kamchatka is not merely a destination on a map, but a living testament to the power and wisdom of nature left to its own devices. Here, rivers carve their own paths through volcanic valleys, and the land breathes with the pulse of the planet itself. This wilderness is a dynamic laboratory where volcanoes forge new earth, geothermal springs nurture life in the cold, and valleys flourish in vibrant green. Every eruption, every cycle of growth and decay is a chapter in the ongoing story of the Earth's evolution. In the hush of dawn, mist drifts through ancient forests, and the silence is filled with the quiet wisdom of ecosystems that have thrived for millennia. These wild places are living archives, holding secrets of resilience, adaptation, and balance. The untamed spirit of Kamchatka is a lesson in humility. Its rugged terrain and volcanic peaks reveal the enduring strength of the natural world, a force that shapes mountains and valleys with patient, unyielding hands. In the presence of a thundering geyser or a bear fishing in a wild river, awe rises unbidden. These moments are reminders of the intricate web of life, where every creature and every element plays a vital role in the grand design. Kamchatka's wildness is a celebration of nature's autonomy. Here the land is not managed or controlled, but allowed to flourish in its own way, revealing the beauty and power that emerge when nature is free. In these places, the role is not to command, but to witness. The wilderness invites quiet observation, a chance to listen to the subtle language of wind, water, and wildlife. Such experiences transform understanding, revealing the interconnectedness of all living things. The forest teems with life, each species a thread in the intricate tapestry of existence. The preservation of wild places is not simply about safeguarding rare creatures or scenic vistas. It is about maintaining the integrity of entire ecosystems, where every plant, animal, and microbe contributes to the health of the whole. The forests and rivers of Kamchatka are vital organs in the body of the planet, purifying air and water, cycling nutrients, and sustaining life far beyond their borders. These ancient woodlands act as the lungs of the earth, absorbing carbon, releasing oxygen, and moderating the climate. Their silent work is essential to the balance of the global environment. Rivers run clear and strong, supporting salmon runs that nourish countless species. The health of these waters is a measure of the vitality of the land itself. Within these wild expanses lies a treasure trove of biodiversity, a genetic library of plants and animals, each adapted to survive and thrive in this unique environment. These living archives may hold solutions to challenges yet unknown. Protecting these last frontiers is an investment in the stability and resilience of the planet. Each preserved landscape is a promise to the future, a safeguard for the processes that sustain life. Wild places inspire with their grandeur. The rising sun over distant peaks, the endless sweep of untamed land, awaken a sense of wonder that transcends words. The mystery of swirling mists and the silent majesty of ancient landscapes kindle imagination, inviting contemplation of the world's enduring mysteries. In the shifting fog and beneath the star-filled sky, the wild remains a realm of magic, an ever-present reminder that the unknown still exists, waiting to be discovered. The soaring eagle, the glacier's slow advance, the river's ceaseless flow, each is a symbol of hope, a testament to the enduring vitality of the natural world. In these wild places, harmony prevails. Life unfolds in balance, each species finding its place within the greater whole. The golden light of sunset over volcanic peaks is a reminder of the legacy that wild places offer, a legacy of resilience, beauty, and the enduring power of the untamed earth. Hidden beneath the shadow of volcanoes and along the windswept valleys, Kamchatka's secret gardens awaken with the first touch of spring. Here, life persists against all odds, and the flora of this ancient land tells a story of endurance and ingenuity. Delicate Kamchatka rhododendrons bloom in clusters of soft pink, their leathery leaves designed to withstand icy winds and sudden snow. The dwarf pine creeps low across the tundra, its twisted branches hugging the earth for warmth, sheltering rare mosses and lichens that colour the ground in subtle shades of green and silver. These hardy pioneers anchor the soil, preventing erosion in a landscape shaped by fire and frost. In the meadows, the Kamchatka lily, its petals a vibrant orange, rises above the grasses, pollinated by the region's swift, tiny insects. Arctic poppies nod gently in the breeze, their bright yellow flowers tracking the sun's arc across short summer days. Each plant is a master of adaptation. Roots burrow deep to find moisture, while waxy coatings guard against biting cold. The riverbanks are lined with wild angelica, towering above ferns and sedges, offering shelter to insects and nourishment to salmon fry hiding in the shallows. In volcanic clearings, rare blue aconites bloom, their toxic beauty a silent warning to grazing animals, a strategy honed over millennia. These plants do more than survive. They shape the ecosystem. Their blossoms feed pollinators, their roots stabilize the earth, and their fallen leaves enrich the soil for generations to come. The forests, tundra, and wetlands of Kamchatka are woven together by these living threads, each species playing a vital part in the resilience of the whole. In the hush of dawn, dew glistens on alpine saxifrage, and the air carries the faint perfume of wild thyme. The secret gardens of Kamchatka are a testament to nature's quiet persistence, a living mosaic, ever-changing, ever-renewing, hidden in plain sight across this untamed peninsula. Beneath the endless skies and among the volcanic valleys, Kamchatka's wilderness teems with life both fierce and elusive. Here, the peninsula's unique isolation has nurtured an astonishing array of animals, some found nowhere else on Earth. The Kamchatka brown bear, the largest in Eurasia, roams the forests and riverbanks. With the coming of summer, these giants emerge from hibernation, their keen noses guiding them to salmon-choked streams. Patiently, they stand in icy water, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, a testament to the balance of power and precision in the wild. High in the cloud-wreathed mountains, the Kamchatka snow sheep tread ancient trails along sheer cliffs. Their thick coats and nimble hooves are perfectly adapted to the biting winds and treacherous slopes. In the shadowy forests, the sable slips silently through the undergrowth, its luxurious fur a shield against the cold and a cloak for stealthy hunting. The peninsula's rivers and lakes are sanctuaries for the rare Steller's sea eagle, one of the world's largest raptors. With wings outstretched, they glide above the water, their sharp eyes scanning for fish. Along the coast, the Pacific walrus hauls out onto remote beaches, forming massive colonies that echo with their guttural calls. Their tusks and blubber are not just defences, but tools for survival in a land ruled by ice and storm. In Kamchatka's wetlands, the reclusive Kamchatka marmot stands sentinel, ever alert for the shadow of a golden eagle overhead. Meanwhile, the Eurasian lynx stalks the twilight, its tufted ears listening for the faintest rustle in the snow. The volcanic meadows are alive with Arctic ground squirrels, darting between burrows, storing seeds and roots to outlast the long, unforgiving winters. Every animal here is an expert in adaptation. Some, like the fox, change the color of their fur with the seasons to vanish against snow or stone. Others, like the rare Kamchatka shrew, thrive in the underworld of moss and roots, hidden from all but the most patient observer. In this land, where survival is never guaranteed, each creature plays its part in the intricate web of life. The untamed inhabitants of Kamchatka are living proof that resilience and ingenuity are the true rulers of the wild. Winding through the volcanic heart of Kamchatka, a network of rivers and lakes forms the peninsula's shimmering lifeblood. Born from glaciers, snowmelt, and the ever-watchful gaze of ancient volcanoes, these waterways carve their way through rugged valleys and primeval forests, shaping the land as they go. The rivers of Kamchatka are restless architects, their currents sculpting canyons of basalt and ash. Their origins lie high in the mountains, where meltwater gathers strength, rushing downhill in a symphony of rapids and cascades. Some, like the mighty Kamchatka River, stretch for hundreds of kilometers, braiding the landscape with silver threads. Others, like the Bistraya and the Avacha, race toward the Pacific, their waters cold and pure. Nestled between volcanic ridges, Kamchatka's lakes are ancient mirrors, reflecting the clouds and peaks above. Some, such as Kuril Lake, fill calderas left behind by cataclysmic eruptions, their depths hiding secrets of fire and ice. Others are shallow wetlands, alive with the chorus of amphibians and the rustle of reeds. Beneath the surface, these waters pulse with life. Salmon, born in gravel beds upstream, embark on epic migrations, nourishing not only themselves but every creature that depends on their journey. Trout and grayling flash in the currents, while aquatic insects drift in the eddies, feeding a myriad of birds and mammals. The banks and shallows are sanctuaries for frogs, newts, and dragonflies. Along the margins, willows and alders anchor the soil, their roots filtering the water and providing shelter for countless small lives. Waterfowl nest among the reeds, their calls echoing at dawn, while otters slip silently beneath the lily pads. In Kamchatka, water is more than a resource. It is a living force, shaping ecosystems, sustaining life, and binding the wild together. The rivers and lakes are the silent architects of the peninsula, weaving a tapestry of abundance through a land forged by fire. In Kamchatka, the passage of time is written in the language of seasons, a cycle of change as dramatic as the land itself. As winter tightens its icy grip, the peninsula is cloaked in a vast, silent white. Snow blankets the volcanoes, forests and valleys, muffling the world beneath. Rivers slow, their surfaces frozen into crystal pathways. Beneath the ice, life retreats and waits. Salmon eggs rest in gravel beds, while bears slumber deep in their dens, dreaming through the long polar night. With the first blush of spring, change stirs. The thaw begins in earnest, and the land awakens. Streams burst free, swollen with meltwater, carving new channels through the snow. Patches of green emerge, and willow catkins sway in the chill breeze. Migratory birds return, their wings painting the sky with movement, and their calls heralding the season's renewal. Brown bears, thin from hibernation, amble to the riverbanks, searching for the earliest signs of salmon. Summer in Kamchatka is a fleeting celebration. The tundra erupts in color, wildflowers bloom in brilliant carpets, and the forests thrum with insects. Rivers run swift and clear, teeming with salmon and trout. Lakes warm, becoming mirrors for the cloudless skies and volcanic peaks. Foxes and sables hunt in the tall grass, while eagles and ospreys wheel overhead. Every creature seizes the brief abundance, feeding and raising young before the cold returns. Autumn descends in a blaze of gold and crimson. Birch and alder leaves flutter to the ground, carpeting the forest in fire. The rivers, once alive with leaping salmon, now flow quietly, their banks lined with the remains of the Great Migration. Bears gorge on the last of the fish and berries, preparing for the winter's sleep. Migratory birds gather in restless flocks, taking to the skies once more. Through every season, Kamchatka transforms, its wild beauty shifting, its rhythms unbroken. The land and its inhabitants are bound by this eternal dance, shaped by the changing light, the pulse of water, and the silent promise of renewal. Here, the seasons are not just a passage of time, but the heartbeat of the wild.